order. It's 11 o'clock. Becky, would you like to do roll call, please?
I sure will. Bob Olson,
Here.
Tom Kitson, Jack Scraggstead,
Here.
Mike Copine,
Here.
Mike Zeman, Jim Sheenline, and Dean Friel for Tom Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll go around the room. Alice, you anything you want to share?
Yes, actually, I have handed out to you a hard copy of a report and finding of fact and recommendation for the Wiggins Solar Project. This did come from the Zoning Board of Appeals. It is not an on board yet. I'm going to work with Becky to see if we can get that on board. But I wanted to get a copy out to you guys.
I don't think I have it. You guys got one? Thank you. Yep, we got it. Thank you, though. All right, you got anything else? Thank you. Paul? No. Nancy? No. Keen?
No, sir, thanks.
All right. Anybody else have any? Yes. Oh, yes. I think everybody's met Jeremy by now, our new administrator. Jeremy England? Anything you want to say to us? Not going to happen. So.
Man of small words, right?
Good luck with that. Good luck. All right, we'll go to approval minutes, October 16th. Everybody get a chance to look at any corrections, changes. If not, we're going to let them stand as read. We'll keep moving on. We'll go to reports of chairs. Mr. Scrogstad, you want to go first?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In facility, gosh, what committee am I talking about here? County Services. I forgot which committee I'm on. I'm sorry. County Services. We met Monday. All our reports from the departments are on the agenda packet. If you guys want to take a look. I know. I'm sorry. Nothing really happened. We got a couple of things that are here that we need to vote on or bring to the full county board, and that's it. So hopefully you don't have any questions.
Excellent report with a lot of information. Thank you, Jack. Well, a lot of details. We'll go to Dean. See if we can beat that, Dean.
Facilities and maintenance. There's something coming ahead of you from Allied on the new courthouse process. Everything else is just general business items that, it's in the process. So any questions?
Nope. Anybody have a question? Thanks, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I didn't have any of those cookies, so I'll be okay. Public Safety met last Monday. The department head reports are within the packet that's available online here. I only have one thing that I would like to point out that we kind of decided out of the focus group activity. We had an open cesspool out in Nelson. And it was a decision between the focus group and, is it Dan? The gentleman that's
From the health department, yes,
department.
yes.
There was a decision made to take further action to try and get that closed up and taken care of. It's exposing raw sewage running from a house and everything. I think there was an approximate expense of $1,200. So that was agreed upon there and we moved forward on it. So if you hear of any rumblings or, any sheriff's calls out there or anything, that's what it's probably going to be involving on. Wendy, do you have anything else you want to comment on that?
Nope. That's it.
We thought that it was serious enough with the exposure and not to mention the environment out there at the time to go ahead and take action. So that's what we took action on in that session. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Mike? Thanks, Mike. Mr. Sheeline.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met a couple hours ago, and I'll just go over real quick as far as the finance report. We're ending up the year strongly. The break in state revenues, sales tax revenues has held on together, and so hopefully end the year strong and begin the year strong. So we'll have the approval of the budget and the levy coming up next week, and we'll move forward with that. And so then we had just a housekeeping matter in regards to the engineering payment reallocation. That was just to make sure that some of the work that we did across the street got tasked with ARPA funds. So we're spending that ARPA money down. We did not have any Joseph E. Meyer resolutions. We had some discussions on EMA budget that's going to be deferred until next month. We had appellate prosecutor resolution that will be going on for approval to the board. We also have a resolution authorizing, and that's basically just so the committee members know, we do have a new, not only Jeremy to come on, we had another introduction, which was Reed Mitchell, which is the new finance director. And we have his resolution to put him as an authorized signatory. Sorry, my onboard just went crazy. Then, let's see. Oh, sorry. I'm having a Jack moment. Yeah, that reminds me, you going through that, that airplane bit, chicken or the fish? No, I had the lasagna. So the weird things that pop in your mind during a meeting. Yeah, I had the lasagna. I did not have the cookies. I had the lasagna. So the main thing that the Finance Committee took care of this morning was the department head budget adjustment requests. We had several of those. Basically, the Sheriff's Department overtime line item, as everybody's aware, was way over this year and about $280,000. We had probation had the child welfare line item that was over budget. So we had about 4 different budget adjustments that we had to do, and that will all come before the full board. And then we did also approve for approval from this committee, came out of finance, was the approval of up to $4.25 million in regards to the project across the street. So that'll be going out for bid. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions, Mr. Schilling? Thanks, Jim. Mr. Seaman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Claims Committee met twice, October 18th and November, whatever that date was, November 4th. And that will be on the board packet. 66 claims in October, and I don't have the number for November. Wasn't it 90? Is that the extra week? But that'll show up in the county report. And that's really all I got.
Any questions, comments? Good. All right. I got a couple of things I want to go through. I'll give a chair report, I guess. The local 150 contract is in. I know everybody else talked about it. It's in your onboard. Electrical aggregation topic. I mean, we've been dealing with that. We've all been dealing with that. We need to either put some on our website and explain it in better detail, or maybe we move it to Jack's committee and have them study it and see if we can come up with a better way, or possibly a referendum. I asked Nancy if we wanted to change it. Nancy, what's the referendum timeframe if we wanted to put a referendum out to change it?
It's 92 days, so it'd be December 18th.
So, we don't have a lot of time. So I don't know. I think if we change the referendum, does everybody understand the referendum do you have a copy of that? I don't know if I do. In 2013, it was passed.
Right.
You have to opt out instead of opt in.
Okay.
I don't know. do we want to change that to where you have to opt in? We're going to have the same problem because not, a lot of people are not going to opt in. So, you know, I guess, do we go to social media or do we get an account? Something that we can reach the people better than what we're doing now is not working. A lot of them don't look at our website. I think we need to explain this on our website. Maybe Wendy or Jeremy will work on that when we get done, or try to explain something like that. But, you know, what's your thoughts on, I guess, reaching?
So just out of curiosity, besides Bob and Becky and myself, have any of you, and Nancy, maybe you've been receiving calls too. Is anybody else receiving phone calls? Okay, Paul's department's receiving phone calls. Yes, and I've talked to Keen about it. So the letters just recently went out, and so that's what's causing all the recent communications. I'm a little confused on the letters that just went out because we sent out letters a couple months ago too. So this is kind of like a second wave of letters, and I'm not sure why exactly. But if you choose to change it, as Bob said, it has to be by referendum. And you can choose to change it and be an opt-in situation, but because we've been an opt-out for this period of time, you may end up with the same problem if you don't communicate it well to the public, in that there'll be a handful of individuals that are going to say, yep, no, this has always been opt-in. Why is it suddenly opt-out? Now I didn't get in the program. So I think either way you go, you're going to have, unless you communicate it better than what I did this time around, you're going to have a challenge.
Mr. Sheehan?
So my thoughts, Mr. Chairman, is an opt-in would be a much worse solution. It wouldn't be a solution. It would cause a huge amount of problems. Because what's going to happen is, the whole point of it being where you opt out is because the way this works is that we choose the lowest cost provider. So you're already getting the lowest rate that we can possibly get for our jurisdiction. So if we go with an opt-in, that means people are going to still be confused. They're going to be used to having, I'll use AEP as the provider, for instance, and then they're going to say, well, I got this great from AEP, and now, you know, the proposed rate is X for MC double squared, and I don't want to go in there because that's a higher rate. Well, what they miss is that was the lowest negotiated or lowest possible rate we could have gotten to begin with. So it's going to be, and if they don't opt in, then they're going to go to the default rate to ComEd, which is much higher yet. So it would be a cluster if we went to an opt-in. I think we stay with the opt-out. We just need to do a better job in communicating what's going on.
I definitely think so. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Some of them think that the county gets a kickback from this, and we get $0. This is just what we're doing for the people in Lee County. And then the other part they don't understand is, if you're in the city of Dixon or Amboy, this doesn't concern them, but the letter doesn't explain it that well. So I think maybe we'll get some.
Yeah, I haven't answered Wendy's question. I got 2 calls from people that were in, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure both of them were in the city of Dixon.
Yeah.
And I didn't even understand why I got that question from those folks.
Well, I think also if we make a change, we're in a panic mode, because this contract happens every 3 years. And if
this time, I think.
2 years, but it has been 3 in the
Yeah,
past.
yep.
So as I recall, 3 years ago, we had some of these same issues. So I'm not sure it's worth making a.
Knee-jerk decision.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's just,
But
it's a question people always ask.
I think we needed to find a better way to get our information out, and maybe we'll talk back to the paper and have a follow-up article or something, maybe explain it a little better.
Maybe even the radio station or something.
Yeah.
So again, you aren't going to be dealing with this for another couple of years, so everybody, put this in your notes to remember. But the other thing that I would say needs tweaking is the letter itself. They use the Lee County logo on the letter, which they've done for a number of years now, but it is confusing. People aren't sure if it's a scam. It does, because the Lee County logo is on there, and we did that before my time, of course, it doesn't matter. I think because we thought we needed people to know that this was the Lee County aggregation program. So we put our logo on there, and that also throws people for a loop. So the letter needs to be a little bit better written, I think. If we're going to put our logo on it, we need to explain what our role is and that we don't get a cut on it.
Sorry, I just wanted to comment that, if this letter goes out, if we can get it on the website, we can provide a link on that letter that they can direct them to that link to show that, we have on the website, it exactly explains to them as well. So that, so it kind of bypasses that scam type of deal too, especially if it's the Lee County Gov org or whatever our name is. So anyways.
So Jeremy, note to self. The next time we do this in a couple of years, there's some ideas on how to do it, how to build a better mousetrap.
You know, when they use our logo, they need to ask for permission or something on that too, because, you know, that's kind of a funky way they do that as well.
So to be clear, they got our permission, but this was like
Yeah.
6 years ago. I mean, they've been doing this for some
Yeah,
time.
it's the same thing they've done in the past.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just, we maybe didn't do a good job. And today's world, not like I said, not everybody reads the paper and more people are worried about scams. So we do a better job of explaining it in the future. We'll be better.
And I think we'll put some on Jack's agenda about social media, and maybe we'll come up with a plan and some guidelines on something like that. I already talked to Jeremy about what we can work on and what we can do as far as that.
So we might be looking at a social media. Okay.
Any pushback on that, or
No, it's just who's gonna be the one?
that's what we need to sit down?
No.
Have another cookie and we'll talk to you.
Boy.
Yes, there was pushback. Huh?
Yeah. No, I agree. We need to have some kind of because that's where it's at.
Information only.
Yes.
Something that we can put out there. If we got a meeting cancellation or something like this comes up that's a hot topic in the county, we can reach more of the younger crowd, I guess you could
Right.
say.
Yep.
One more announcement, it's probably in here, but we got a Truth and Taxation Tuesday night hearing at 5:30. We need to make sure everybody, I'll have me or Becky will send something out to remind everybody that day of. So we're all in here for that as well. I got another thing on here in grants, and I might challenge Jack too on this. So we, as the county, everybody in the county is writing grants and nobody keeps track of what we're doing. And I think we need a policy on the grants. So if it's a matching grant, you have to have permission from the finance committee or the finance chair before you apply for a grant. I'm guilty as that as well, because we're.
That's
going
a
out-
really great idea. Guess what? We have that. But it's not well publicized, but it's in our financial policies. And so the idea being that the administrator and the treasurer's office kind of be the keeper of the records. So every department is supposed to send to the administrator and the treasurer, or just to me, and I forward it on, the grants that we get. But very specific to your point, Bob, if there is matching grant dollars required, it requires approval of finance committee. Now, to be fair, we debated about this because you don't always have the latitude of that kind of time. So if you think next month, financial policies are going to come back before this board because there's some tweaking we need to do in a couple other areas. If you have a better way to build that mousetrap, I'd be happy to incorporate that in, because it is tough when you hear about a grant and you don't have much time to get it in. So how do you do that and get the appropriate permission from finance if there's a match to it and still do it in a timely manner? And I don't know that we have that kink worked out yet.
Maybe you put a dollar amount on the threshold, or the chair can approve up to so many dollars or something like that. Are we using that now? Because I don't use that. Oh,
Well, the rest of us are.
All right. So I'm not using, all right. So Becky, we need to remind ourselves. So,
Actually, I'm kidding you, Bob. Some of the ones you've been involved with recently, there were no match. And so it wasn't an issue. So I'm teasing.
But we met yesterday with Alice, and there's no match on that, but it made me think of that. You know, we've got other people out doing the same thing. So anyhow, we'll work on that a little bit behind the scenes. And that's all I have, I guess. Any questions or comments? All right. We'll go down to old business. We've got the property liability insurance. I'm going to take that off. That was on since July or August, and we'll just have to remember to bring that back around next June or so, Becky, and we'll put that on there and talk if we want to go out for bids or how we want to do this. We got new business. We got the 2023, 2024 County Board Committee meeting schedule. We need to vote on that. Anybody would get a chance to look at it? All right. You want to pull it up, or is it the same as it was before, or what? All right, let's skip over that. We'll go to appointments. I got a resolution for Lee County's ZBA for Luke Phelan. And let's do these one at a time. Do I get a motion? Mr. Sheeline moves, Mr. Kitchen seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Yeah, but I think we gotta approve approve the person, then we'll put it on the full board.
But he's saying, we don't know what he just said a motion.
Oh, it is, I guess to put it, I'm sorry, you're correct. You're correct. Sorry.
To move to.
That's why we got attorney in the room.
Exactly.
The motion, I understood, the motion I made was to send that to the full board, that
Yes.
appointment to the full board.
Charlie didn't hear that part.
And that was the second.
Sorry, I had my mic off
We
and
have a
I
bad-
just
we have a bad
waved.
habit of motion and second, and you're right, Charlie.
Right.
All right. Yeah, we'll approve that, but
That was my confusion, is that you guys usually vote on the full agenda afterwards, so I didn't know why you were making a motion for that one, because that's what made it seem like you were actually appointing him for that.
how do you want us to do it then?
Do we not need to make a motion to put it on the agenda?
They do at
You have, right?
executive only because it didn't come forward from any other committee, Charlie. So the executive committee is the only one that's acting on appointments like that to move it to the full board
Okay.
agenda. So that's
Yeah,
why
that's
it's weirdly in executive.
We've had no discussion about these,
Sure.
okay. All right, we'll do B, Maple Grove Drainage District, reappointment of David Didier. Do I have a motion to move that? Mr. Friel moves. Mr. Kitson seconds. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? What's that? Mr. Friel moved and Mr. Kitson seconded. Did they fill out the paperwork too, or? Oh, okay. Great. No, you're fine. We got the raffle report. At the end of this, we're going to vote to put them on file. We got the VFW gun raffle report, the Walton Fest raffle report, Sauk Valley Pride raffle report. I need a motion to put these on file. Mr. Friel moves. Mr. Copine seconds. Any discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You get a chance, review the per diem report for the county board. It's for the October meetings for December. That's just for informational only. And Becky, let's go back up. What were we doing that you were going to check on, or? Okay. Well, can we move on to the next part while you're doing that? All right, thank you. Now we're going to go through set the county board agenda items. Of course, we got the call to order, pledge allegiance, invocation, roll call, board chair announcements. We got a 25-year acknowledgement, life-saving presentation, approval of the board minutes. Joseph Meyer resolutions, there's none, but we'll do that. We got petitions, none going to the zone ZBA and none going to the planning, but we got, looks like 3 petitions coming from ZBA. And number 4, we got petitions coming from planning commission, none. So we'll have all that on there, of course. Administrative monthly update and board member comments, of course, public comments, county organizations, the reports of the committee. Unfinished business, we'll have the levy and the budget. New business, we got the engineering agreement for the bridge design. The annual motor fuel tax maintenance appropriation resolution. The Allied Facility Partners cost proposal for the new courts HVAC system. I'll get that emailed out to everybody, hopefully today or tomorrow. Got all the information. Charlie's appellate prosecutor resolution. And I got the HVAC,
That's a little, I should clarify that title there. That's that ARPA reallocation. We'd already paid the engineering. We're just reallocating it under ARPA, which means full board approval is necessary.
okay, all right, great. 2023 budget adjustments they did today. The resolution authorizing the new signature authority. And the resolutions, if we ever approve them, the 2023, 2024 county board meeting dates. We've got the two appointments we just talked about. I do need an executive session maybe that night. Approval of county officers' reports, roll call. Monthly reports, approval of member mileage and per diem. The adjournment, of course, everything goes with it.
So local 150 highway operating, was that there? Did I miss it?
I didn't see it.
That needs to be added.
Okay. Yep, it's in my notes here. You got that, Nancy?
And I'm sorry, what is it called again?
150,
Local 150 operating engineers contract.
Thank you.
anything else decided today, Mr. Sheeline, that you guys did that's not on there?
No, I think everything we did is on the agenda.
All right.
And I don't know why, normally the union contract would have come from finance, but there was some problems as far as.
Wendy
timing.
dropped the ball and didn't get it on finance, so
I
it
wasn't
didn't.
gonna say that.
I
It just
know,
didn't
but
get through
I'll just say
finance
that.
and, it's, but it's all good. The finance committee took a look at that and approved it prior, so.
All right. Any additions, corrections to the proposed agenda?
Yeah. I
Go
don't
ahead.
know if it's the appropriate time. Going back to the original agenda, old business, property and liability.
Yep.
I did attend a CIRMA meeting, learned a lot.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we're talking about looking at other companies. Jim, I know you're very interested in that. They had a county opt-out. They got a new company, doubled their premium the first year, 22%. Now they want back in. CIRMA says, ain't that easy. So we got to be careful on jumping in and out of these companies like that. And they did come up with a new administrator, the workman's comp, the third party reporting agency, whoever that was. They went to this Gallagher who's going to be evidently workman's comp, they don't answer their phone. So this should help out a lot on that. But why it became old business, is that because you wanted to look at it?
So I didn't put
Going
that on
forward.
there, Mike, but I think the things that Bob and I talked about is that because of the size of the premium.
Yeah,
that we,
$500,000. Yeah.
it's $500,000 a year, that we should have a periodic review.
Yeah.
Of that. Now, my understanding, and a lot of kind of the push was the issues that we had across the street in regards to CIRMA not picking up some expenses that
Right.
we thought were legitimate claims. And that caused some issues of whether we should, look somewhere else. But that'd be up to you, Mike, to take a look at that and bring a recommendation back to
Yeah. I was happy at their openness. But once again, they're a private company. They don't like me bringing stuff back that other people
Sure.
can look at. Company A, company B, hey, we can
Right.
beat this.
Yeah.
They don't want that because it's a competition thing.
Yeah.
But
Did they,
And my understanding is all the things, Charlie, the things that we've had in dealings with CIRMA, that's been resolved, well, as far to my knowledge.
Correct. I think we have one
I
that's
think there was a
outstanding right
couple of
now.
them.
what's that? Which one's outstanding?
The incident at the jail.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I think this was originally put on there in July. We were talking about bidding it out. Am I correct? And we had a certain date, September 1, we had to have all our ducks in a
Right.
row, and we missed that date. So we kept it on there to discuss it, but yeah, I think we can take that off
But
now.
that's what this other county did. They opted out before the September
Yeah.
date, not having
Yep.
something in.
And they told us if
And
we,
they got
if
creamed.
we're going out for bids, we're done.
Yeah, if we're, I still say that we should always take a look.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
review the coverage and review, where we're at, but we don't want to, cut off our nose, spite our face.
Right.
Situation. So.
Okay.
And I'll just add just one final thought to that is turned out, to me, it sounded very prudent to periodically look at that as well. And I tried really, really hard to find a consultant that could help walk us through the complex property liability insurance, and we couldn't find somebody. So we were hindered in our ability to do that just because we couldn't find a consultant that was knowledgeable enough that could help us do that, that didn't also want to bid on our insurance. And that, in my opinion, was a direct conflict and was not a prudent situation to go into. So we didn't get the job done because we couldn't find somebody to really help us with that. And since then, Mike's gotten involved and been attending committee meetings or SERMA meetings and just kind of educating himself on how it works.
Did they give patronage this year or not? Did they?
That's coming in January.
Okay. All right.
And we'll actually get a little extra bump because we were one of the original 4 in SERMA.
Cool.
So most people get X amount, we get 20%.
All right. Any questions on the agenda? Did we approve that or not? I don't remember now.
Make motion to approve the agenda.
All right, do I got a second? Mr. Kitson seconds it. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Let's go back to our meeting schedules. Everybody take a minute to look that over, if there's any questions or comments.
The truth and taxation, will we be having one next November, or that can be
We don't-
added on?
We
That's
don't,
necessary.
yeah, we don't know and see what the CPI is and what the
Yeah.
levy's gonna be. then
So we
just-
don't put it on?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right, right.
Motion to approve?
Mr. Kitson moves. Do I have a second? Mr. Friel seconds it. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to adjourn. Mr. Sheeline moves. Mr. Friel seconds. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Friel.